It is the year 1360. The world moves slowly. Peasants wake before dawn. Markets fill with the smell of bread and animals. Cities are crowded, alive, noisy, built for people, not for distance. No one knows that something is already moving. Something carried by wind, by rats, by the hands of merchants along the Silk Road. Within 5 years, 1/3 of Europe will be gone. Modern genomic research traces the origin of the Black Death to Central Asia, most likely the Tian Shan region, near present-day Kyrgyzstan. The bacterium responsible was Yersinia pestis. It spread through fleas carried by black rats that traveled on merchant ships and caravans. In 134-6, the plague reached Kaffa, a Genoese trading port on the Black Sea. According to historical accounts, Mongol forces besieging the city catapulted infected corpses over the walls. Whether true or not, the ships that fled Kaffa carried the disease westward. There was no stopping it. In October 1337, 12 Genoese ships docked at the port of Messina, Sicily. The sailors aboard were dead or dying, their bodies covered in black, swollen lumps oozing blood and pus. The port authorities ordered the ships out immediately, but it was already too late. Within weeks, the plague was inside the city. Within months, it had reached mainland Italy. By 1138, it was moving through France, Spain, England, and Germany. People called it many things. La Moria Grande, the Great Dying, the Black Death. The disease came in 3 forms. Bubonic, the most common, caused painful swellings called buboes in the lymph nodes, along with fever and exhaustion. Pneumonic plague attacked the lungs. Septicemic plague entered the bloodstream directly. Death could come within days, sometimes within hours. According to historical records, Giovanni Boccaccio described streets filled with abandoned bodies. Entire families disappeared. Priests refused to give last rites. Doctors abandoned their patients. Between 1037 and 1031, Europe lost an estimated 30 to 50% of its population. Some regions lost more than half. In certain cities, the dead outnumbered the living. People had no framework to understand what was happening. The church taught that illness was divine punishment. Many believed the plague was God's judgment for human sin. Flagellant movements spread across Europe, groups of men publicly whipping themselves as acts of penance. Others searched for human scapegoats. Jewish communities were falsely accused of poisoning wells and faced horrific persecution across Germany, France, and Switzerland. Medical theory at the time blamed miasma, bad air. Physicians wore long-beaked masks filled with aromatic herbs, believing the scent would protect them. None of it worked, because no one yet knew what they were truly fighting. And then, slowly, it stopped. The survivors emerged into a changed world. With so many dead, labor became scarce. Peasants demanded wages. Feudal structures that had lasted centuries began to crack. The church, unable to explain or stop the catastrophe, lost moral authority. New forms of spirituality emerged. Art changed. Death became a central theme, as seen in the Danse Macabre, a recurring image across medieval painting and sculpture. Economically, the massive labor shortage paradoxically accelerated innovation. New machines were developed, trade routes shifted, cities reinvented themselves. Some historians argue that the Black Death was a dark accelerant of modernity, that the Renaissance, the Reformation, and early capitalism all carry traces of a world that was forced to rebuild itself from near collapse. This is what catastrophe can do, not only destroy, but the Black Death did not end history, it changed it. It reminded those who survived and reminds us now that civilization is fragile, that what we build can disappear, that what seems permanent is not. But it also showed something else, that humans endure, that after the silence, people return to the fields, to the markets, to each other. They always have.